Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us in the world. And thank you so much for joining us for the WFF World Food Forum FAO Asia Pacific Innovation Challenge. Today is the People's Choice Awards. And what that means is that you folks will get the opportunity to choose who will be actually winning that People's Choice Award. Now, to help us kick off the session and to tell us a little bit about the Asia Pacific Innovation Challenge, I'd like to invite our youth champion, Huyu Ouyang, who is the Incubator Coordinator and Food Policy Officer for the Good Food Fund. Huyu, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Cal. Dear friends, good morning and good afternoon. Greetings from Beijing, China. With 9 harvests left by 2030, youth hold the largest stake and strongest influence in shaping our food systems towards nourishing people and planet in peace and prosperity. For the past over half a year, I came together with 30 youth leaders from across the globe in a movement called Act for Food, Act for Change. A global campaign has bringing 100,000 youth signatures to the United Nations Food System Summit. We have also listed 17 actions for change, which shine a light on a wide range of issues that are impacting our individual, community, and planetary health. The campaign empowers young people all over the world to take actions nationally or locally. And in my country, China alone, we have encouraged over 50,000 young people to vote for the change they want to see: sustainable farming, food education, plant-based diets, and many more will bring hope. The voting is open until the end of this year, and you can access the voting page through the Youth Action Track on the World Food Forum website. For all the changes that need to occur in our food system, as the world moves towards a more sustainable future from hunger and malnutrition, accelerating innovation in agriculture is essential. There are growing calls for innovation to take the center stage when it comes to agriculture to allow current and future generations of farmers to grow without compromising the planet. The FAO Regional Office for Asia and Pacific launched an innovation challenge last September where it searched for startups that have built solutions around the supply chain or marketplace for agri-food, with the goal of connecting its country offices to innovative solutions that can potentially answer the challenges they've been seeing on the ground. The Innovation Challenge came as an acknowledgement that startups, if supported in growing their network and their resources through the support of organizations like the FAO, can be instrumental in driving scalable efforts that address some of the food and agriculture sector's most pressing challenges. What's interesting about this Innovation Challenge is that instead of running a hackathon to conceptualize new startups that might potentially solve the challenges faced by FAO's country offices, it searched for already existing startups with proven track records to answer their challenges. We have invited 4 of the best startups that joined Innovation Challenge, and we will be learning more about their solutions very soon. I'm very excited to announce that we have a very exciting event lined up for you all. Today, we've invited country representatives from FAO's Philippines, Cambodia, and Mongolia offices to briefly share about the challenges they've been seeing from the ground. From there, we'll be inviting the 4 best startups that joined the Innovation Challenge to pitch their solutions. This will be the most exciting part of the event because we're going to need your help in voting for the best startup to win this year's People's Choice Award. So please make sure to pay good attention to their presentations. Finally, we're going to hear from Mr. Takayuki Hagiwara, Regional Program Leader of FAO's Asia Pacific Office, award the winner of this year's People's Choice Award before closing the event. Equally exciting is what happens to the startups after this event. Towards the end of October, each of the 4 startups will participate in a design workshop where they will get the opportunity to design and develop their plans to bring their solutions to either the Philippines, Mongolia, or Cambodia. This design workshop will be done in partnership with each of the FAO country offices and some other potential partners that startups can work with if they are successful in piloting their solutions. So I really can't wait to hear from your solutions, and I believe your solutions will inspire more endeavors and will be the ones that many will be following. Thank you again for having me. I give the floor back to Carl. Thank you, a great event.
Thank you so much for you. And it's so great to also hear about the work that you're doing. I see some people are already starting to introduce themselves in the chat. And so I'm going to encourage that everyone go ahead, type in where you're located in the chat and which organization you're with, if you're with an organization. Let's do a quick round of introductions in the chat. So where you're from or where you're based right now, that could work as well. And which organization you're with, go ahead and type that into the chat to introduce yourselves. And we are going to now get the chance to meet three people from FAO country offices. And we're going to learn a little bit about some of the challenges that have helped define this innovation challenge. So we have Tamara Palis Duran, who is with FAO Philippines. We have Dr. Tat Patsodari, who is with FAO Cambodia. And we have Salmeg Chulumbatar, who is with FAO Mongolia. And so from each of these people, we're going to hear a little bit about what is the challenge that they are looking to address through innovation in their own countries. And we're going to start off with Tamara. So Tamara, if you could tell us a little bit about the challenge that you are working on in the Philippines.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. I hope you can hear me. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can? All right. So good morning and good afternoon to all, and welcome to this forum. So the Philippines is looking for innovative solutions. We are learning more and more now that traceability, or being able to track the flow of goods, is crucial for verifying the origins of food and ensuring the quality and safety of products. This is especially true for fishery and agricultural products due to its perishability and nutritional aspects, among others. While sophisticated digital systems exist, the realities of tracing from production areas, so this means our farms, coastal communities, up to the markets, restaurants, and even ultimately to the households, they require traceability systems that are low cost, robust, and reachable to all. This means being able to work even with basic phones, ideally, and also with limited internet connectivity. Particularly in the Philippines and perhaps in other developing countries as well, this is in view of the context wherein a significant portion of the actors along the value chain are located in rural areas where poverty is persistent and necessary connectivity infrastructure may be lacking. As such, we have participated in this innovation challenge to look for providers of low-cost, simple, and innovative solutions on commodity tracing, a mechanism that will allow the stakeholders to track products such as agriculture and fisheries commodities and their byproducts along the value chain. So among others, this may include barcodes or QR systems that can be made available even to the remotest of areas in the Philippines. Next slide, please. So having this simple, reachable, and innovative traceability mechanism will really be a big help to the agri-fisheries food value chain actors. For one, it can help ensure the quality of the products by being able to trace where they came from, who handled them, what channels it has gone through, and in turn, this would it can help contribute to assuring the safety of the product. This mechanism should also be able to allow people to see what standards and specifications the products are following. At the same time, it can also help open up more international market opportunities, since we know that some countries have specific preferences for this tracking, such as the geographic indications or the GI system. As such, this provides opportunities for even the smallholder producers to achieve even better income. Next slide. At this time, however, there are various constraints. There may be similar existing tools already out there, but it can be that they remain inaccessible, especially to the rural communities, which, as we know, is the main source of our agri-fishery products. Some may even be too costly for them. Others may have issues due to poor and inadequate connectivity infrastructure, and some may be unequipped to better understand how to use them or to benefit from them. As such, we are really looking forward to learning about potential solutions that may be identified through this challenge. We hope to be able to build partnerships that will allow us to contribute to advancing food systems transformation together, inclusively, sustainably, and equitably. Thank you, and back to you, Cal.
Thanks so much, Tamara. And I loved seeing that photo. It's the closest I've gotten to traveling this year. We're going to head over to FAO Cambodia, who will be talking a little bit about affordable transportation of post-harvest produce. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Carl. Today, a great honor to present the challenges from Cambodia. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tatput Sudari from Cambodia. On behalf of FAO Cambodia and the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fishery, today I will be presenting the 3 key main points: the trends of agriculture, and then the challenge, and then the solution is needed. Next, please. Thank you. No, go back. Yes. First, let me discuss the general trend in the agriculture sectors. As you can see, Cambodia has covered 4.3 million hectares of agricultural land, and on which 1.5 million people are growing crops, including 20% of the, I cannot see, sorry. 20% of industrial crops, 7% of rubber plantation, and 4% of permanent crops. Next, please. Given the GDP, the sector contributes to 22.7% of GDP, including 13% of crop production, 5.5% of fishery, and 1.6% of forestry, and 2.6% of livestock. Next, please. What key challenges are faced by key value chain actors, especially smallholder producer, amid the COVID-19 pandemic in Cambodia? As you can see the diagram, there are 5 main problems faced by the smaller holder and also key value actors in Cambodia. The first one, post-harvest products are spoiled and wasted. Second one, the lack of collective agriculture cooperation hubs. Third, high cost of transportation logistics, lack of online information, access to local and international market supply chain. Last but not least, transport disruption, restriction due to COVID-19 lockdown. Next, please. Next, please. These 5 challenges reflect the, Minister, Excellency Wayne Sukon, the Ministry of Agriculture. He wants to see the fresh quality product, save time, cost saving, and also the quality of product by transportation, refrigeration, and storing facility. Next, please. So what's the next solution that we need to find out and to solve the problem for the farmer? Next, please. Yep. Now what we can do to fix 5 key challenges, as mentioned about, the diagram describes a joint cooperation between smallholder producer, private, public sector, as well as development partner through digital innovation. As you can see in the middle of the box, what we call digital innovation village, there are key elements we want to explore farmer needs, as mentioned by the minister, such as cold room, post-harvest facility, and also the existing digital platform provided by the government, agency, private company, and development partner. Given the private sector, we also looking to the existing ICT SME, logistic, transport facilitation, digital platform, infrastructure, and their investment. Finally, the 4P model helped us create a roadmap for innovation challenge for testing implementation. Second, a digital innovation village will be identified and selected for testing and implementation. Finally, the key finding and lesson learned from digital 4P model will be documented. Thank you very much for your attention. Over to you, Carl.
Thank you so much, Dr. Basudari. We're now going to head over to Salmeg in FAO Mongolia. So Salmeg, over to you.
Thank you, Carl. I hope you can hear me nice and clear. So Mongolia is looking for an innovative solution to create a marketplace that can link up the vegetable farmers with the market directly, the consumers. So just to give you a background of why we have chosen this challenge is that, as you know, Mongolia is one of the largest landlocked country with about over 3.3 million population. So it's 3 times bigger than that of Thailand or Spain, or 15 times bigger than South Korea in terms of land. But however, we have about 23 times less population, people here in Mongolia. So that can actually, you can see that we are one of the the least dense populated country in the world. And also just to remind you, the infrastructure, logistics systems here in Mongolia hasn't developed as much as we would like to see. And we have a very extreme weather condition here in Mongolia with four seasons. Next slide, please. So due to the semi-arid climate and the geographical location, it only allows us to have one harvest per year. So our climate can go from -30 to +30. So storage, all these climate conditions makes it very hard for the vegetable producers to store and save what their produce is. And believe it or not, we just had our first snow back in August. So next slide, please. And currently, according to a report, there's about over 17,000 farmers working in the crop sector. That means 17,000 families are dependent on this sector. And last year we had a produce of over 551,000 tons of vegetables. But however, the 46.5% of the domestically consumed vegetables are imported. So we can see that there's a big need to improve and increase the production of the sector. Next slide, please. So for this year, we are expected to have about 315,000 tons of vegetables, which we are currently at 50% of harvest. So how does this vegetables reach the marketplace? So if you could go to the next slide. Mostly the farmers will bring in their produce, and since they are not good at marketing or they're not businessmen, they're more into farming and making the vegetables, they sell it to the middleman who has much more power over the pricing. They would call out for the price, or either they know the market or they have the storages, so they would call out for the prices, and then most of the producers will go through these middlemen or mediatory companies to reach the consumers. But what if we could have a platform that could actually have the farmers directly reach to the consumers? Then there would be a lot of many more benefits, such as increase in, we could go to the last slide, better pricing for consumers, better income for farmers, and it can lead to better access for vegetables, as Mongolians are not eating as much vegetables as recommended by the Ministry of Health, and increased production, better coordination among farmers, where they can coordinate and see who's making what kind of vegetable produces, and a better market share. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Salmeg. And thank you to all of our participating FAO country offices. Now it's our opportunity to hear from some of the startups that have applied to the Regional Innovation Challenge. And as was mentioned by you earlier, you're going to want to pay attention to all of these presentations, because you will get the opportunity to choose the People's Choice Award. One thing I'll just say is that we've got 2 awards as part of this program. So one is on the People's Choice side. That's the one that you folks get to choose. Also, the country offices will be selecting a set of startups from the challenge to work with and to actually prototype the implementation of something in a country. These are all very tough challenges. And so there's a separate sort of a parallel kind of track on this, where we're going to be picking some of the technically most appropriate solutions for that prototyping. So we've got people choice today, and then coming up later this month, we've got the technical assessments for these startups as well. So there are two opportunities for these startups to essentially participate and take part in all of this. Now we're going to get started with Agro Digital PH. They are offering value chain solutions such as affordable transportation for cooperatives and smallholder farmers. And we have Henry Sison, who is going to be presenting on Agro Digital PH. So Henry, over to you.
Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Yeah. Can I have some sharing rights, please?
That should be open. Go ahead.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks. Alrighty. So good day, everyone. My name is Henry Sison. I'm the founder and chief farming officer at Agro Digital PH. We are advocates of change and are committed to uplift the lives of food producers through a system that puts a premium on trust and transparency. So Agro Digital is all about leveraging the power of organizations. We strongly believe communities are key to setting up farmers for success. The principle is simple. When you have limited resources, the best idea is to pool these scarce resources to enjoy economies of scale. We have designed Agro Digital to support cooperatives and associations adapt through a digital food value chain. At the end of the day, we want our farmers to take their fair share while ensuring the availability of goods and keeping consumer prices stable. We've decided to look under the hood and see where Agro Digital can realize the most value, and that is equipping cooperatives and associations the digital solutions to take control of their enterprise. With this system, we are able to minimize demand-supply mismatches, reduce spoilage with just-in-time harvests, and trace the source of food to the farming plot level. For this session, we will focus more on our logistics solution. We call our solution democratized conveyance as it leverages the strengths of several communities in the value chain. In particular, we require the willingness of more mature and perhaps richer cooperatives to lease their trucking assets, the cooperation of producers to plan and synchronize production activities, and finally, rider or driver associations for final mile delivery. To realize affordable logistics, we focus on three prerequisites. First and foremost, we want producers to be relatively close to each other for a planting season. Second, planting and harvesting dates have to be coordinated because come harvest time, we want to maximize vehicle load. And then finally, goods inside these trucks have to be uniformly handled and stored, perhaps using crates of the same form factor, but labeled to preserve traceability. This part of the solution addresses bulk deliveries from farms to a single destination or distribution point. Cooperatives with trucking assets create a fleet for hire and advertise in a ride-hailing application. By leveraging our production forecasting and management application, farmers who have done their homework should be able to book a truck a few days in advance. If the schedule works and the said booking is accepted, the cooperative can advertise that the truck will be in a specific location at a particular date so they can arrange for a load of goods for the return trip. Ferrying goods both ways intuitively reduces the logistics cost, and this is reflected in the routing and fare computations embedded in the application. Once goods are delivered to a distribution point, orders collated from a marketplace are prepped for delivery. Again, through the booking application, the distribution point utilizes driver or rider associations for motorcycles, perhaps bicycles, or in our case, in the Philippines, tricycles, or what you call tuk-tuks, perhaps in other areas. Under this scheme, we can move around anywhere between a few kilograms of produce to as much as a few hundred kilograms using the tricycles. Our conveyance solution has been running for more than half a year, and the pilots are promising. Conveyance assets that are normally idle are now generating additional income for the cooperatives who own them. Smallholders also have an option to leverage trucks at a more stable price point. And finally, utilizing rider groups for final mile delivery expands economic activities for this segment, especially of lockdowns across the country. We are two founders at Agro Digital. I've focused more on IT as well as almost a decade of experience in agriculture. Ken is our technical brains behind the platform, and Trisha is our CFO, who ensures that we are financially sustainable. We build solutions with aggregated producers in mind. We are farmers ourselves, and we have designed solutions that supports farmers and the ecosystem. Education is big for us, from social preparation to business mentorship to digital upskilling. We also work closely with government and development organizations for livelihood programs that embed our digital solutions. Finally, we believe that the problem is so huge, we are very much willing to collaborate with like-minded individuals and parties. In summary, we continue to drive pilots and use cases to further refine our solutions. As we convert and evangelize farmers into the digital food chain, we stabilize supply and urge customers to patronize this fair way of doing business. Please partner with us and invest in this new ecosystem. Be part of our story of hope. Again, we are Agro Digital, and we harness the power of digital for the new Filipino farmer.
Thank you so much, Henry. That was great. And I think many countries could potentially use a solution like this. We are now going to head over to Feast Saver, rescuing delicious food from your favorite bakeries, restaurants, and farms and reselling them at a discount. So we have Kim Veloso, who will be presenting for Feast Saver. Kim, over to you.
All right. There you go. So you can see my slide just to check. Perfect. All right, well, thank you, Cal, and hello, everyone. I am Kim, one of the co-founders of Feast Saver, a startup that aims to help reduce food waste in the Philippines. So 1/3 of the food produced globally is wasted every year. That's right, 1/3. This global food waste problem is expected to reach 2 billion tons, costing the world $1.5 trillion annually by year 2030. And just to be clear, when we talk about food waste, we're talking about perfectly good food. Something that you and I would buy at the market or order at a restaurant, yet these are being thrown away in unimaginable quantities every single day. It's a colossal amount of food wasted, despite the fact that some 700 million people worldwide go to bed hungry each night, and approximately 25,000 people die from hunger-related causes every day, including more than 10,000 children. Some 486 million people remain undernourished in the Asia Pacific region. And in the Philippines, about 2 out of 3 Filipino households are considered food insecure or lacking reliable access to nutritious food. On a more personal note, as a kid, my mother grew up in a food insecure household. My grandmother would sell fish in the market, and my mom, starting at the age of 7, would rush to the market right after school to help sell fish in the jeepney and bus terminals nearby. They were selling food that they couldn't afford to eat themselves. Can you imagine how something like this could affect a 7-year-old? The reason I'm telling you this is because this is a classic example of the harsh realities currently faced by millions of families in our own region and many other parts of the world. And this has only been exacerbated by the global pandemic. Large-scale COVID-19 restrictions have been imposed, disrupting the supply chain of vegetables, causing a devastating effect on the livelihood of farmers and forcing many to discard and throw away products of their hard work. Here is an example that went viral last week. Some photos showing a tomato farm in the Philippines that had been forced to throw away some of their harvested tomatoes after having their supply rejected by middlemen. And guess what? The situation was so dire that the middlemen still refused to take the supply even when the farmer had offered it for free. It's just unacceptable. This food waste problem is very real. It's happening now. It's even worse than before. Furthermore, when we waste food, not only are we wasting all the resources invested into them, we're also in effect denying food from the people and communities that could have benefited from them. Beyond the social issues, we also have the environmental impact of food waste. In fact, if the global food waste was a country, it would be the 3rd largest greenhouse gas emitter after the US and China. So when we waste food, we're also ultimately harming the planet. So we humans have managed to walk on the moon and even sent a Tesla into space. So how are we still struggling with food waste? The concept of rescuing food has become increasingly popular in many parts of the world, with various organizations trying to tackle food waste in different ways. And I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if we had something like this in the Philippines? Fast forward to February this year, and Feast Saver was born. Feast Saver is the Philippines' first sustainable food app that allows people to rescue perfectly good food from being thrown away. What we do is we partner up with local farms as well as food and beverage establishments who upload and sell their special offers online. The beauty of it is that consumers and even food businesses in nearby or surrounding locations can directly rescue and buy the oversupply of farmers without the multiple layers and added costs that come with involving middlemen. So in the app, you and I would be able to find great discounts on many different types of food like produce and meals in oversupply, bread and pastries baked just a few hours earlier, or fruits and vegetables which may look just a little too crooked for your usual go-to supermarkets because again, these are perfectly good. We actually chose to use the term feast to adhere to the mindset that food should be appreciated and even celebrated, because a small or simple meal for some could be a feast for many. With that said, we also hope to start fee sharing, which gives participating partners the opportunities to donate any unsold inventory to various beneficiaries, such as charities and food banks. We see Fee Saver as a great way for all parties involved to embrace a truly sustainable strategy, one that truly takes into account one's economic, social, and environmental implications. And in our eyes, everyone that helps address the food waste challenge is a food hero, a feast saver. So next time you purchase food, please support your local farmers and give imperfect looking produce a chance. Don't overbuy and use your leftovers, and really just be creative. We're currently planning our launch for early access, so if you or someone you know might benefit from Fee Saver, then please don't hesitate to reach out. And with that said, let us not let perfectly good food go to waste. Be a Fee Saver. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Kim. And that is a entry into the Mongolia challenge. If you're curious, we're going to now head over to Coltiva, tailor-made cloud-based solutions that provide reliable traceability mechanisms in the value chain. And for this, we're going to head over to Manfred Bohrer, who's going to be presenting for Coltiva. Manfred, over to you.
Shall I share my screen or you share my slides already? I can't
You're
see.
welcome to share your screen.
Okay. Okay. Slides are there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Manfred. I'm the CEO of Coltiva, based in Jakarta. We are an end-to-end software as a service solutions company that makes agri-tech supply chains sustainable, reliable, and transparent. Since 2013, we provide customized software and holistic services to agribusiness around the world. Established in Indonesia and later incorporated as well in Switzerland, we currently operate in 30 countries. We provide a quality trace adapted to more than 30 multinational large enterprises to the business requirements across more than 20 commodities. Our end-to-end platform ecosystem consists of a web platform for management and sustainability teams access to their data and their smallholder farmers within their supply chains, plus mobile applications for the several actors along the chain, upstream and downstream. The CultiTrace is a management information system to track and trace from seed to table. We have about 350,000 farmers registered in Asia Pacific, which are supplying agriculture products through the downstream supply chain to our multinational clients up to retailers and consumers markets. We have several different applications integrated in CultiTrace as a business line, which includes cocoa, coffee, palm, rubber, seaweed, a single commodity platform solutions for larger organizations, but then we have the CultiTrace supply chain trace application for companies who want to track and trace any kind of natural resources, fruits and vegetables, anything from farm to factory. What makes us unique? We apply a holistic approach. As we've seen in global value chains, there is a huge lack of holistic solutions who provide access to technology for any actor within the supply chains to promote trade transparency and equality. We've seen all of us are aware of the triple challenge, so we are working hard on this to work with smallholder farmers to not engage in deforestation and increase adoption to climate smart agriculture and enable profitability across the chain. So we have transparency in place with cashless and cash payments from farm to factory to enable higher profits on the farm level. Mapping and registering of farmers is key for sustainability and traceability. So there is no sustainability without traceability, but there is also no traceability if you have actually no idea who your suppliers are. So basically, we provide the mobile applications to go to the field offline, as they're in rural areas often or never are connectivity for smartphones. So we go offline to the field, map every single plot, every single producer to have a full picture of a farming household. Then we also map the polygons to walk around the farm. So it's either our own field agents, the boots on the ground, or our client staff. They walk around every single production plot to make sure none of these parts of these plots are actually in protected forests or conservation areas. After we know the customer, the suppliers, and the producers, then finally they can still start selling products or actually buy products. As we are seed to farm, seed to table traceability, we have solutions for input suppliers to sell agri inputs like fertilizers, pesticides, and seedlings to farmers. So we have a full transparency and traceability what goes into a farm. Then the collectors, traders, we have about 1,000 collectors, aggregators already online in Indonesia alone. They're buying from all those registered farmers, those sustainable produced product, and push it then through our applications to the market. But none of this happens without the boots on the ground. So to strengthen the message again, technology is nice. We're an agri-tech company, we're building software but without human verification on farm within the traceability from farm to factory. If you don't verify what's going in there, crap in, crap out. Transparency only happens if you verify at warehouses, at buying stations, physical segregation, and map it against what's in the application. If not, then it's not verified. Training and coaching, the same thing. You need the boots on the ground to build the capacity of the users, but also the smallholder farmers, and this needs the boots on the ground. No blockchain, no drones, no game applications will replace a field visit of an agronomist to help the farmers to improve their practices. Beyond traceability, access to digital finance, real, sustainable, and traceable supply chains anywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Manfred. And such a great point about the need for boots on the ground. Technology cannot solve all of our challenges. We're going to head over to our last team pitching today, which is Two Hands, taking agricultural produce from the hands of multiple layers of middlemen and transferring it to Two Hands. And for that, we have Sasha Rust who will be presenting. Sasha, over to you.
Thank you so much. Let me just try and get this up for you. So I work under the title of Food Systems Architect at Two Hands, and yeah, thank you very much for having me. So we're a digital marketplace for quality authenticated produce. We use technology to directly connect food producers with buyers with unparalleled transparency and safety that benefits people and planet. And I couldn't agree more with some of the statements that have just been made around blockchain. But global supply chains have been iteratively innovating for generations. We've seen that becoming increasingly centralized and powerful while leaving many behind. Two Hands sees current global supply chains as failing humanity and the planet. They're inefficient, they're expensive, they're riddled with food fraud and food waste. Well, the thing that we really like to focus on quite a lot is that a lot of these pressures are being felt most by the fishers and farmers themselves. And a lack of transparency and collaboration is creating adversarial relationships between producers, supply chain partners, and consumers driven largely by cost. Two Hands is reimagining local food value chains globally, stress local food value chains globally, implementing technology to assist in directly connecting food producers with food buyers. While I'm speaking, I'm going to invite you to scan this QR code on the screen with your phone to see the output of our technology. We provide traceability and verification of key data securely via blockchain technology. We return higher value to fishers and farmers by removing unnecessary middlemen. We build direct and collaborative supply chains where actors are service providers, not product owners, thereby regulating performance. We capture stories of provenance to build back a sense of connection, as you might find in a traditional marketplace, despite the distance between players. We are purpose-led, we're collaborative, we're transparent and accountable, countering the status quo of global business cultures. And we're transforming the debt economy by using decentralized financing solutions to reduce cost and re-empower our community. Blockchain provides an exciting avenue to make financial transfers immediate and incorruptible despite global borders. But importantly, our method starts with the producer, working to understand their pain points and then designing to solve. In our work in China, we found poor cold chain networks were leading to high waste, food safety and quality concerns. So we developed our own trustworthy cold chain network across Shanghai. We also built a value-added solution to overcome the low returns for 91% of the beef carcass that is often sold for a loss. We are also integrating with producer cooperatives, providing direct market access, recognition and higher value for hundreds of small-scale farmers. Over in Australia, seafood is often traveling to central markets and then to secondary wholesalers and then onwards before reaching the final buyer. This was providing room for fraud, waste, and economic inefficiencies. We support fishers to tag and box product for end customer and facilitate transport directly to their customers. Any data can be attached here. That includes temperature records and GPS points to provide that real integrity. In doing so, we've partnered to provide independent verification of product sustainability to buyers with not-for-profits and NGOs. Our supply chains are efficient. They're returning on mean about a 30% higher return to producers as well. Our shortened supply chains have dramatically reduced supply chain waste. In a country like Mongolia, for instance, where farmers are distributed broadly with limited infrastructure and organized logistics capacity, we see significant value in applying our technology to verify the journey of food as an initial early step. These records of temperature and journey build trust and value for food at market. Equitable and simple access to technology means no matter how complex the journey, there is a reduced barrier to entry for service providers to collaborate. But I've stressed, you need to collaborate. A financial model drives our solution. Farmers set the price. The cumulative fixed costs of the supply chain service are then calculated and added transparently with them. This final value becomes the purchase price for buyers to buy on our marketplace. The cost of providing our technology is baked into this equation, making access highly democratic for people to play. Markets become owned by producers because it's direct, meaning the majority of value is returned to support regional development with limited dilution. So proven blockchain is a great track and trace. It's great for track and trace and financials when it's done collaboratively and with integrity, but we think the breadth of its potential has not yet been fully realized. Where we're moving is we're seeking to implement self-governance to our platform. Our community will become managed by its community itself, utilizing a blockchain concept called the token curated register. Effectively, this is a collectively managed list. Data provided to the blockchain by reputable independent provides visibility on further metrics such as carbon emissions, ethics, production methods, so people can make decisions not just based on price. With this, supply chain participants can determine whether other participants are acting ethically and take action on this by consensus and with expertise. Thereby, supply chain governance becomes decentralized, where all participants are equally empowered. This is a pretty long journey, obviously, requiring input and participation from many, but this is our vision for a reimagined, trusted, sustainable, democratic food system. And it's something that we believe is very much required. So thank you very much. And we look forward to talking a bit more.
Thank you so much, Sasha. And it's really interesting to see that these traceability systems are not just traceability systems. They're also taking into consideration ethics and sustainability and a variety of other really important aspects. So I'm so glad to see that. Now, here's a very important moment. This is the opportunity for everyone here to pick out who might be our people's choice for the Regional Innovation Challenge. We've got these 4 startups, right? Agro Digital PH, FeeSaver, Coltiva, and 2 Hands. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to ask you to go to your chat. You'll find a link in your chat where you can submit your vote. And so we'll give you a few minutes to do that. So once again, you click the chat button at the bottom of your Zoom window, open up the link there, and on that link, you will be able to vote for this year's People's Choice. We'll give you a few moments to do that. Okay, we're going to leave this open for about 10 more seconds. And that is time. So now to announce today's winner and to award the People's Choice Award, I'd like to introduce to you someone very important and who will also be helping close for today, and that is Takayuki Hagiwara, who is the Regional Program Leader for Asia Pacific. Takayuki, over to you.
Hello, I hope you can hear me well. Good morning and good afternoon to our guests from across the globe. I'm Taka Hagiwara, Regional Program Leader for FAO Regional Office for Asia and Pacific. It is my pleasure to welcome you all. The first, I would like to thank the followings: the FAO Asia and Pacific team and Pandemic for organizing very well thought through and the prepared event. Second, Hui Yu Onyan, our World Food Forum Youth Champion, for being a presence in advocating on behalf of youth. Finally, to our 4 startup semifinals. All of your presentations were highly intriguing and will most definitely be useful regardless who ends up winning. You in this call have already selected the winner with a popular vote. As such, People's Choice Awards go to the Feast Saver. And congratulations, Feast Saver. And may I invite our winners to join me on the screen for virtual photo opportunities.
All right, we're going to go ahead and spotlight here.
Congratulations, Kim.
We're going to take a moment for a screenshot as well. So let's do that so we can capture this moment. If we could get a nice smile from both Kim and Takayuki, we'll grab a photo of that.
Congratulations, Kim.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you again, Feast Saver, the People's Choice Awardee for the FAO Asia Pacific Innovation Challenge. Today, we learned that there are still existing gaps on a country level basis that hinder not only the actual agriculture produce, but also the livelihoods of farmers, fisher folks, businesses that makes these available to us. In the Philippines, it is a traceability of goods from the source to the distributors, which harms their reliability and safety. In Cambodia, it is a lack of affordable transport from farmers to buyers, which compromises the quality of the produce and the profits of farmers. And Mongolia, amazingly, it is already snowed, but it is the lack of the access of the consumers to farmers for direct purchases, which again leaves them vulnerable to exploitation. Yet, what we have found out is that innovative ideas that leverage technology have potentials to address these issues in a much more streamlined and direct manner. The ongoing challenges are to ensure that innovation and technology opportunities are accessible for all and enable inclusive solutions to food security and sustainable agriculture. Similar to this innovation challenge, we currently have other projects across the region. We have a multitude of ongoing initiatives, including FAO's Digital Village initiative, as well as others in mind that we wish to execute in the near future. However, there is still more to be done if we want to fully maximize our reach and achieve our goals. This is where we believe that the innovations such as what has been showcased here can come in. To close this event, I invite you all to check out some other innovations from the Asian Pacific region that we have presented during this World Food Forum. With these short videos from our partners in Japan, and thank you once again for attending, and I wish you all a nice Saturday. You may play the video now. Thank you.
We are especially pleased to explore the synergies and collaborations in digital technology with the Japanese business community and many of you entrepreneurs who are here as presenters today. You represent truly cutting-edge and innovative startups.
したがって小型の実験機でですね、カルチベーションレシピという書き方をしてますが、栽培条件の組み合わせのデータをですね、抽出することによって、それがですね、同じ規格で装置を制御している大型の装置においてですね、かなり精度高く栽培が再現できるということがですね、示せてきていると。
独自のこの細胞を用いて、自社工場で肉を作り、それをスーパーで売るといったことは可能といえば可能です。ただし弊社がそれをやるよりは、この技術を幅広く提供し、すべての人がこの技術にアクセスして肉を作れるようにしようとしております。
食料生産をはじめとする人間活動が生物多様性を損なうのではなくて逆に増進する社会も生態系も持続可能な発展を遂げることができる未来、我々のビジョンとして全ての命と生きる社会というこのビジョンがシネコー社設立の大きな目標です。
健康なものっていうのは、食べる楽しみがなくなるんじゃないかって思う人がいると思うんですけれども、それであれば広がらなくて意味がないと思っているので、パンや麺やライスが世界中でなぜこんなにも食べられているのかというと、やっぱりそれは楽ちんで美味しくて、かつ食文化と深く根ざしているからだと思っているので、そこは全く変えずに栄養バランスだけ良くするという努力をしています。
笑顔があふれる、ゆとりのある食事の時間を送ることができる社会づくり、そのためには家族みんなが同じもの、同じ食卓でいつまでも食べれる、美味しい笑顔の優しい時間が送れることをですね、社会を作っていきたいと思っております。
自分が使うものは何かから出てきたゴミとか未利用資源から出るのが当たり前みたいになる。
環境にもさらに地域にもそういったところに広く、思いを寄せて授業をしています。
利用用途としては5つの F があると思っていて、フード、ファイバー、あとは動物の餌のフィード、4つ目は土壌改良剤とかの肥料、最後は燃料ということで、その地球における物質循環が起こるところの、一部の役割を担わせてもらえるんじゃないかな。
つまり農業って食料生産だけじゃなくて、もっと多面的な機能がたくさんあるんですよね。近隣との関係性、自然との関係性、地域との関係性、世界の国土を守っていくか、そういう立て付けの考え方っていうのも同じように革新的に考えていかなきゃいけない。
We strongly believe that it's crucial nowadays work with local communities, bring back also traditional knowledges, identities, celebrate local identities, but also combine them with the most advanced technologies, because we need to preserve traditions and take them to the future.
Wonderful, and thank you so much. What we're going to do, just as we wrap up, is I'd love for us to take a group photo all together. And so if you're able to, go ahead and turn on your webcam, and we're going to grab a group photo for everyone who's with us here. We'll give you a few moments to turn on your webcams if you are with us. Good, good, wonderful, great to see you all. Joining from clearly all over the world. Okay, excellent. Okay, let's we'll go ahead and give maybe a wave, and we'll grab some screenshots. All right, thanks so much, everyone. Really, it's been such a pleasure to have you here as part of this. We want to thank you for joining us. We're also really want to convey to all of the startups that applied to this challenge, thank you so much for taking part. And there will still be opportunities for us to work together, because each of the countries is going to pick one partner as well to potentially design something with, and to potentially prototype that in country. In the meantime, have a great rest of your day.